Hello and welcome to another Wednesday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. As the Lenten season approaches its end, I'm hoping you've used the time to reflect and make the necessary changes you want to see in your life. If the season went by quicker than you hoped, remember it's never too late to be who you want to be, as life gives second chances. Get up and go at it. No! The news is next. Stay tuned.
Good day, I'm Lisa Rowan. This is your JIS News for Wednesday, April 16, 2025. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the government continues to advance key engagements aimed at strategically positioning Jamaica to become the fourth node in the global logistics network. Among those are infrastructure upgrades, special trade arrangements, and special provisions with major trading partners. There are also improvements to the ease and speed of doing business and economic stability. Prime Minister Holness also highlights advancements in regulatory reform, such as the establishment of the omnibus legislation and the special economic zone.
We are very serious about making Jamaica the fourth node in the logistics hub. And as you can see, we are working on all of the critical areas.
He was speaking during the recent ceremony to break ground for the $13 million Kingston Gateway Commercial and Warehouse Complex on Marcus Garvey Drive. Dr. Holness also informed that the Port Authority of Jamaica, PAJ, was expected to break ground for the long-awaited Caymanas Special Economic Zone SEZ project within 2 months.
The Port Authority has been tasked to de-risk the project and to take on the development risk for the project, and to develop the first 50 acres of the project and to find an anchor tenant. So Jamaica will have its first true special economic zone.
While this is being done, Dr. Holness says plans are also in place to create a direct link from the site to the Port of Kingston through the rehabilitation of a pre-existing train line.
And so we are going to consider how we can rehabilitate that and create a direct link into the port, especially if we were to connect the Port of Kingston across Marcus Garvey Drive and into the Tinson Penfield lands.
Approximately $50 million will be invested to further upgrade the equipment and increase the capacity of the Port of Kingston this year. In making the announcement, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness emphasizes that the Port of Kingston is at the heart of Jamaica's logistics vision.
The Port of Kingston is now globally ranked among the top 100 ports in the world. Since 2016, under a 30-year concession agreement with the Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited and over $400 million of investment with advanced geopositioning technology, new cranes, and upgraded infrastructure, we have increased cargo volumes in our ports by over 50%. We have increased employment by over 53%.
Dr. Holness asserts that the government is leveraging this advantage not only to boost trade, but to create new global services opportunities in supply chain management, logistics, BPO, inventory control, and freight forwarding services.
For decades, we have spoken about Jamaica's potential to become the logistics hub of the Americas. Today, I can say with confidence, we are no longer imagining the future, we are building it. Jamaica's strategic location at the crossroads of north-south and east-west shipping lanes, paired with world-class port infrastructure, gives us a natural competitive edge.
Prime Minister Holness was giving the keynote address at the opening of the Outsourced to Jamaica conference recently. Since 2020, more than 3,000 households have benefited from the government's flagship community electrification project. They now have secured and legal access to the national energy grid, reducing potential damage to life and property. The initiative is being implemented by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF. It is funded and spearheaded by the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport in partnership with the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPSCO. Managing Director of JSIF, Omar Sweeney, says a main component of the program is to offset the cost of house wiring and provide additional distribution lines to connect persons who live far from the grid.
What we're trying to avoid is to ensure that people have safe, reliable access to electricity, because most people, and like I said to you, we've been doing this since 2014, most people who extract electricity illegally are doing it because they don't have access.
Under this project, beneficiaries are guaranteed a meter panel, 2 lights, 2 plugs, 2 switches, and a connection to the JPS grid, regardless of the size of their home. Mr. Sweeney welcomes the recent $1 billion expansion of the program by the government as a game changer, as it will connect 20,000 additional households island-wide.
We already have more than 1,000 persons who have signed up in the parish of Portland, and so our outreach now is going to be across the island. Now, we've signed up Westmoreland, we've signed up Trelawney, we've signed up some persons in St. Mary, and so we continue to build this out, and in the next 6 months you can look out for that program being rolled out.
Mr. Sweeney was giving a review of projects being carried out by JSIF at a JIS think tank. Jamaica's teaching profession is on the verge of a major reform with the introduction of the Jamaica Teaching Council JTC bill now before the Senate. Education Minister Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, who piloted the legislation recently, says it is long overdue following more than 20 years of reshaping the framework. She notes that the current focus is to professionalize, regulate, and elevate the teaching profession through a formal licensing system. The bill outlines measures to regulate entry into the profession, uphold professional conduct and ethics, support ongoing development, and maintain registers of teachers and instructors.
You can't just get up and call yourself a teacher anymore. You have to be at a particular standard. You have to be licensed. You can't just wake up and say, hey, I'm this teacher of this subject. You have to be licensed by the JTC.
The legislation applies to all educators, including early childhood, school, and home-based teachers. It also relates to instructors and tutors with limited exceptions, for example, persons who teach their children.
In terms of new inventions, the Jamaica Teaching Council Act will introduce provisions that differentiate between registered teachers, licensed teachers, and authorized instructors.
Under the JTC bill, teachers must undergo mandatory criminal background checks. Unauthorized teaching can attract penalties of up to $1.5 million or 12 months imprisonment. Additionally, teachers already registered will be grandfathered into the new system but must apply for a license or authorization within 2 years. The JTC will be responsible for administering the new framework, including teacher registration, licensing, fitness assessments, and ongoing professional development. And finally, the St. Elizabeth Infirmary has received an ambulance valued at more than $17 million through an ongoing project between the local government ministry and the Culture, Health, Arts, Sports and Education Chase Fund. The project aims to ensure that all the island's infirmaries are equipped with ambulances. Speaking at a recent handing over ceremony, Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie revealed that of the nation's 13 infirmaries and 2 Golden Age homes, only 1 had an ambulance.
Only 1 infirmary is in possession of an ambulance, and that is the St. James Municipal Corporation, and they got that ambulance on their own. It is the first time since our infirmaries have been built that each infirmary in Jamaica is going to be equipped with an ambulance to support the work of the staff and to provide for the residents.
He also stressed the importance of having the necessary equipment to serve those who reside in the nation's infirmaries.
So far, we have not had any incident that would have created any serious loss of life. But in an institution where we have 99% of those who reside here are elderly, some can hardly move. The government have recognized the importance that we must move with modern times, and since 2016 we have been doing so to improve the service delivery of the government in our infirmaries across the country.
Minister Mackenzie has urged staff members to ensure the ambulance is properly maintained and is only used for its intended purpose. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.
We need all Jamaicans to know that child abuse is not just an issue for the government, it's an issue for all Jamaicans. So we need everybody to help us to protect our children. If you know of a child who is being victimized, a child who is abused or neglected, just make that report so we can get that child the help they need. Calling or reporting is easy. All you have to do is remember to call 211. If you are an adult, if you're a child, if you are in church, in your community group, wherever you are, once you are aware there's a child who is in need of care and protection, just be the one and call 211.
We all want money. As a matter of fact, we need it to live even a simple life. Sometimes, though, we don't necessarily want to spend our own money, so we opt to get a credit card that we may use to help improve our credit scores, to travel, or just because of its convenience. In this next feature, we learn about good money management while using credit cards.
When we think about credit cards and who should get one and who shouldn't get one, it really comes down to your repayment ability. Because when you get a credit card, you're essentially getting a 0% interest loan until the repayment date. When that repayment date comes, if you're unable to make the payment, that is when we're in problem. That's when you get the 45%, the 50% interest being added onto your credit card balance. So if you know that you're disciplined enough to make the monthly payments as it relates to how much you've spent, that is when you want to consider getting a credit card. Don't go out there and get these exorbitant limits that you know say you have to go beg, borrow, or thief to pay back. You want to get something that you know you can comfortably pay back each month, and that's really the secret to credit card. When you think about reasons not to get a credit card, it's if you cannot manage to pay back the monthly balance. And so at that point now, you're gonna have these high interest costs being added onto the balance, and you know you end up in like quicksand where you're just sinking because you can't pay back the interest, you can't pay back the balance, and it keeps going up every month. You're in a rat race. So if you know I am somebody who struggles to pay back things, who are bag of people money, do not go and get a credit card to add to that level of debt. I love credit cards. Why? Because I love other people's money. Because using other people's money, aka leverage, is one of the best ways to build wealth. These days you have travel reward cards, you have cashback cards, and so using credit cards can help to pay for other things in your life. You're getting money to use in other areas. Of course, I make sure I pay it back every month. You have to make sure you do that. So right now, go and look on your credit card statement, examine the balance, make sure it is something you are comfortable in paying. You control the balance that you get. The banks will suggest a balance to you when they approve the credit card, but you can say, here what? bring it a little lower because I want to be in a position to make sure that I can pay this money every month. Also, stick to your budget. Do not spend what you know you cannot pay back. That is not prudent. So the combination of making sure that your credit card has a limit you can pay back, plus being wise enough to stick to your budget every month. Those two together will keep you in a position where you are not paying these exorbitant interests. So when we talk about the bagga credit cards, and some people have 3, 5, 10 cards, you see them backing out these fat wallets, fat purses with a lot of credit cards. We don't necessarily want to be in that position. Why? Credit cards have annual fees. And if you have 10 credit cards, that means 10 annual fees. That really does add up. Get a set of cards, maybe 1 or 2 cards maximum that fit your budget and your lifestyle. Do you need 10 cards? No. The fact that you have 10 cards indicates that you may have a spending problem. And that's a bigger issue that you want to work through. Don't work through it with the cards. Work through it by being disciplined and sticking to a budget.
Make money, money, make money, money, money. Make money, money, make money, money, money.
The cash advance is another popular thing. A lot of persons go and they push in the credit card into the ATM and pull cash out. Nice, because we're getting other people money, but bad because cash advances have a very high interest rate tied to them. And even with some banks, the cash advance, you will never stop paying interest. A better option can be just going to get a short-term loan or going to a friend or family member and borrowing the money from them over the short term. When we're thinking about which credit card we want, it can first come to the bank that you do most of your transaction with. Speak to them about the different suites of credit cards that they have and the benefits. Plus, with credit cards these days, they have a lot of benefits tied to them. So when you go on the bank's website and you see all the credit cards that are there, you can pick which one works best with your lifestyle. You can shop around and find one of the lowest interest rates out there associated with the card and pick that one. Scams are very common. We want to protect ourselves as it comes to credit cards. General things, cover the pin where you're putting it. Do not just have the credit card lying out there, exposing the number and the CVV on the back of the card. We don't want to do that. Some persons lock their credit card. I've seen them do that where, they set a very small daily transactional limit so that if the card is stolen, somebody's not out there running up the credit card as well. Another thing when we think about credit card security is that two-step authentication. This is where now we do a transaction, but we get notified by email or text message about that transaction. That way, if it is not you who did the transaction, you see an email pop up, you can say, wait, that's not me. Let me quickly call my bank, tell them about this fraudulent transaction so that they can shut down my card and prevent any future fraudulent transactions on the card. The first way is called the avalanche method. Second way, we call it the snowball method. Number 1 in both methods, stop using the card. And then we're gonna write down the card balance and the associated interest rate on the card. So that means pulling up the statement, write down that outstanding balance and writing down the interest rate. A lot of people don't know the interest rate, but it's on the statement. It's on your monthly statement, or you can call the bank and ask them about the interest. And then there are 2 ways you can go about it. The first way, you can start with the card with the highest interest rate and say, I'm gonna focus on paying that off first. So all your extra income, you're gonna put that towards paying off the card. The rest of the cards, you're only making the minimum payment. Then you work down to the next one, and going down that series of interest rates. Second method is saying, all right, I want to pay off the card with the highest outstanding balance first. A lot of people choose that method because it gives you more satisfaction. You say, well, when I knock off the 10 million card or the 100,000 card, I feel good. It inspires me to keep going. So you're gonna pay off the card with the highest outstanding balance. Pay as much as you can, and then the remaining cards, you're only making the minimum payment each month. So I want you to take a stab at either one. They both work. Try, test it, and prove it, they work. Pay down by interest rate, the highest one to the lowest, or pay down by outstanding balance, the highest to the lowest. But key thing, stop use the cards while you're paying them off. Put them in a drawer, put them in a box, put them under your bed, under your mattress. make sure you stop using them, because that's the only way you're going to be able to pay them down. You can't be paying and using at the same time. You're going to be in a rat race and the balance will never go down.
From not knowing his next move due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic to being in rooms with dignitaries presenting the paintings he did for them. Up next, we hear how this self-taught artist found his calling by brushing away the stigma and sticking to his plan.
Imagine living in a world where you're oftentimes overlooked, you're stereotyped and ridiculed for the environment in which you grew up, the environment that taught you all you know. Although this might not be your reality, it's the reality for many Jamaicans. But hey, don't be all sad and gloomy. Who said those living in such areas didn't create their own fun? Who said there weren't a set of talented and creative people? Let's think outside of the box.
My name is Conroy Green and I'm a Jamaican self-taught fine artist. The inspiration behind this mural piece in Tivoli Gardens came from a friend of mine, O'Neill Cook, aka Coco. He's a resident of the community and he's somebody that loves to give back to the community, mentors children and stuff like that. And he would have told me about the vision to uplift the community after the 2010 incursion. The message I'd love to convey from this mural is Afrocentrism and community comradeship with its beautification and emotional value. The response from the community has been amazing. I feel like a billionaire. Every day working on this piece, the residents, even passerby, they would have expressed their appreciation for what we are doing in the community with art. The symbolism of the female figure represents the matriarchal essence of our people, women being very much valuable to our culture. Afrocentrism, as was mentioned before, we are all from a woman. The woman represents Mother Nature, Mother Africa. So we want to bring about that pride amongst our people.
They say people live by what they learn, and although we see Conroy now challenging himself by having completed this mural, his first love and what he does daily is painting on canvas.
I've been pursuing a career in fine arts for 6 years, but 4 years professionally. Because of the pandemic, I had to search myself to make something of myself. During that period, people never had jobs and stuff like that. So because I was practicing my art, I sought how best I could earn from it. So with painting, I posted my work on social media. My work is comprised of oil paintings. Like this one here, you can see the title of that piece is Mapogo. So basically, Mapogo is the name of a Spartan pride of lions in Africa. 5 brothers of lions. The lion is significantly known to be dominant and so many things. I love lions. This here is acrylic. This is alkebalon. This is actually the canvas piece for the beautiful mural that is painted in Tivoli Gardens. You can find that on Zaki Avenue. I find that over a period of time, growing more passionately about my craft, I now understand that my purpose is to inspire with my art. You'd find that most people would esteem prestigious career paths like lawyers, doctors, police officers. But if we should consider the reality of things, you'd find that most young people, after leaving high school, after leaving college, they're left without a job. So with me pursuing my God-given talent, I want to inspire others to search themselves, to do the things that they love and see how best they can make a living from that. Art plays an important role in self-development on a wide scale. So with us expressing ourselves as creatives, we can inspire our communities at large. With youths in our communities, they can become more resourceful, more productive. So we are leading by example. You know, we as an individual, we can make impacts in our community. We definitely will be looking forward to taking our creative efforts to even outside of Tivoli Gardens. But the mural project is one that is continual. So in the near future, we'll be moving around the community to find buildings to paint. I've learned so much from this experience, the importance of teamwork, the importance of being productive and resourceful, being that we can use our God-given talents. As we say in Jamaica, we turn one hand and make fashion. You know, we can uplift our own lives with what we have, you know, because this is very much evident from the response of the mural and the artwork that is being done in Tivoli Gardens.
Challenging society to accept all its people has been a long-awaited aspiration, one that cannot be achieved by just one person breaking the stigma. Let us all take a step to make a change in whichever part of Jamaica we are, in whichever area that interests us. Conroy chose to brush away the stigma by bringing beauty into a place that seemed dull. What will you do next?
We're at the end of today's show, but be sure to join us again tomorrow for another lineup geared towards providing you with information on the government's policies and initiatives for building a better Jamaica. You may visit our website, jis.gov.jm, to rewatch this show or to catch up on the others we have on the site. I'm Theodore Henry, telling you thanks for watching from our production team here at the JIS.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.